So I think the joy coexists with the loss constantly.
What do you, if you were going to have an ideal plan for Squish, what would it look like a year from now?
I would like us to be running on a bigger budget so that we can expand our operating hours, so that we can recruit more volunteers, be able to offer more frequent training programs. I would like our phone line to be able to take multiple calls at once, to have multiple volunteers on shift. So overall, I want the helpline to be fulfilling more need, and to be more accessible as a service. And then I also want the volunteers to be compensated more often for their efforts. We probably won't be able to pay our volunteers even a year from now, but I wish we could be able to treat them to like brunch every so often, be able to reward the people who are involved in this work, and also to have more volunteers, including clinical supervisors, helpline volunteers, project team, staff, support people, administrative people. So I think really to expand the project, but in a way that feels intentional and in a way that keeps people feeling connected to each other.
Yeah. So what are your support needs? What is your wish list? How do you want folks to help?
I would love for people to donate either time and energy or things and money. So things and money, we always appreciate donations. We are running on a $10,000 a year budget, which is really small for a project of this size. So we always appreciate more donations, as well as items. So like we would appreciate more phones, more computers, even snacks for our volunteers so that they can keep going on shifts. All of these will be really helpful. In terms of time and energy, we really want to recruit more helpline volunteers, more people who are familiar with IT, website design or coordination, how to run a phone line, as well as other like creative staff, including people who can help with graphic design or social media. All of these help to keep the project going. So in addition to people going through training to take calls, also these other like varied like talents that we can tap on to make the project better.
That's amazing. So St. Louis, you all see that there are so many ways that we can support Squish and helping our siblings get their basic needs met and finding that social and emotional support and being a listening ear. I really appreciate the way that you have contributed to the liberation of trans-expansive humans locally, and the way that you've given in your time and your talent and your heart. And I hold you up, Luca, as a leader, as a beautiful soul who's supporting and helping.
Non-binary pals, ladies and gentle thems, I just want to give you an update. We have some new donors. Thank you, Melissa Gamblin Dunn, Jules King, Kobe O'Brien and Cindy Savage, Rhea Marsh, Tracy McCreary and Thomas Wham, Tim Williams, Brad Blayul, Julia Rachel Clay, Ashley Nicole Forrest, Katie Schnuckenschneider, you're my friend. I know, right? And I still stumble. I'm sorry. And Anthony Garvelia. We have raised $6,332 so far. Yeah. Y'all, we're in for a treat next. I hope you like games with influential people from your local community. All right, so a Mississippi native, Treasure Shields Redmond, is a published poet, master educator, community arts organizer, and successful entrepreneur. Treasure was raised in the federal housing projects and went on to be signed to MC Hammer. Oh, no, I'm not. MC Hammer's label as a hip-hop artist and writer. I almost did it. She is the author of Chop, a collection of quintabas for Fannie Lou Hammer. Her doctoral research focuses on the recorded performances of foundational Black woman poets and the ways they deployed sound to impact the canon and justice movements. Yes. Treasure centers collaboration in her personal arts practice and as an organizing principle. As such, she has co-founded a funding collective for Black artists called The Black Skillet and a podcast that centers voices of color called Who Raised You? That's a question we need to be asking a lot of people. Treasure is the founder of Feminine Pronoun Consultants LLC and Get the Acceptance Letter Academy. Treasure is a treasure, y'all. So I'm gonna turn it over because we got trivia coming up. Thank you, everyone. Welcome and thank you, lady. We're so happy to be here to support MTUG in what promises to be a power-packed 24 hours, and we hope will be a financially packed 24 hours. All right, so we're going to start by introducing our contestants for today, but I just wanted to briefly say that this Trans Jeopardy is just like the one you see on TV, except more fun because we punish the people who lose. They didn't know that. We have 3 esteemed contestants. Will you take a moment to tell us a bit about yourselves?
Sure. Hi, I'm State Representative Tracy McCreary. I represent about 37,000 folks in the Missouri legislature, and I reside in mid-St. Louis County. And I have 3 cats.
Ooh, yes.
I'm David Wraith. I'm co-founder of Sex Positive St. Louis, founded in 2010, soon to be celebrating our 10-year anniversary.
Wow, yes.
And I'm Alderwoman Megan Aaliyah Green. I currently represent the 15th Ward, which is Tower Grove South, Tower Grove East, and I'm running to be the next state senator for the 5th Senatorial District. And my middle name, Aaliyah, is after the bald-headed lady in the first Star Trek movie.
Wow.
Yes. All right, we got our nerd and geek bona fides out of the way. Let us commence with the game. Our first contestant to submit an answer will be Tracy. Tracy, what are you choosing?
I would like St. Louis for 1,000, please.
St. Louis for 1,000. All right. Novak's Bar closed its doors for the last time in this year. Megan. Megan, what is your question?
What is 2013?
That's a great question.
That is correct.
I don't see that. Yes, I do. That is correct. Yes, Megan for 1,500 points. No, that's not right. 1,000 points.
Yeah.
All right. Megan gets to go next, and she buzzed in correctly. Megan, what are you choosing?
Let's do musical trios for 500.
All right, musical trios for 500. What signature group consisted of Cobain, Novoselic, and Grohl? That's David.
Okay, yep.
Was it Nirvana?
Yes! David did answer in the form of a question, and yes, it was. It smells like teen. That's the right answer. David wins those points. All right, David, since you answered correctly, now you get to choose.
Let's go musical trios for 1,000.
All right, musical trios for 1,000. What group can you say their name? Contain Beyonce, Knowles, Kelly Rowland, and Michelle Williams. Megan.
Destiny's Child.
Yes, that is correct. Destiny's Child. Excellent. I mean, you kind of have to know that.
Yeah.
Right? All right. Megan, what is your choice?
Let's do transgender humans for 500.
All right, transgender humans for 500. The first Transgender Day of Remembrance was held on November 20th, 1998 in honor of this individual. Tracy.
Thank you. Rita Hester?
Judges?
Hester. Who is Rita Hester?
Yes, that is correct.
I forgot the question.
Very
Thank you.
relaxed game here. Okay, we're not going to
Thank
be
you.
so hard on people, but
Okay,
we'll
Lord,
be
yeah.
punishing the losers.
Yes, thank you. I feel punished.
All right, what is your next selection?
Well, since I'm a Missouri state rep, I'm going to go with Missouri for 1,000, please.
All right, Missouri for 1,000. Missouri ties Tennessee as the most neighborly state in the U.S., bordering this many states. David.
Is it 8?
That
It is.
is it 8?
It
I
is.
can't
It
seem
is.
to move fast
Yes.
enough. Yes, it is. That is correct, David.
Good job.
Excellent job.
Is my buzzer working?
I think she's just going by whoever hits it hardest.
My buzzer's broken.
Oh no.
Okay,
Okay, David. What is your next selection?
Moving on. Let's do musical trios for 1,500.
All right, musical trios for 1,500. What incredible group contained Geddy Lee, Alex Lifeson, and Neil Peart? Megan.
Is that Rush? What is Rush?
Rush is correct. Yes,
No
excellent. Wow, 1,500. All right, Megan, what do you choose?
Let's do Lost in Space for 500.
Okay, Lost in Space says the woman with the spacey middle name. This is the title of the first Star Wars live action television series, which premiered on Disney Plus this year. David couldn't even wait for
He's testing his
I-
Oh, I
That's my
thought you
buzzer.
did. I thought you knew it before the question was done.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Are we?
David,
What is The Mandalorian?
that is correct. Woohoo!
Wow. Oh my
All right, what do you choose, David?
Let's go LGBTQIA for 500.
All right, LGBTQIA plus for 500. Covering multiple identities, the A in LGBTQIA stands for agender, aromantic, and this. Megan.
Asexual. What is asexual?
Yes, that is correct. Or as that community loves to call, ACE. I'm cool now. ACE. All right, Megan, what do you choose?
Let's do transgender humans for 1,000.
Ooh, transgender humans. With a 2014 nomination, this human became the first openly transgender person to be nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award in an acting role.
Hey, that was Tracy.
That was Tracy.
Who is Laverne Cox?
Laverne Cox is correct. Yes.
I love her.
Wraith. Sorry. Resetting my buzzer.
Okay.
We can continue.
Okay. Tracy, what is your next selection?
All right. Definitely not the space ones.
Okay.
Let's see. How about St. Louis for 500, please?
All right, St. Louis for 500. Known for its welcoming and open atmosphere, along with great dance parties, Magnolia's Gay Bar was located on this street. Tracy.
Vandevenner.
Vandevenner.
What is Vandevenner? Where is Vandevenner?
Uh,
Where is South Vandevenner?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, there you go. Yes.
I didn't know I needed
R.I.P.
this
Magnolias. All right, what is your next selection, Tracy?
Let's see here. How about LGBTQIA plus for 1,000?
All right. This individual is credited with creating the original rainbow flag, which he debuted in 1978. Dave, was that Tracy?
No, well,
Yes.
I think you got it first. Yours just didn't
Mine
make a
just
noise.
didn't make
Yeah.
noise.
Let Megan go. Hers didn't make a
Megan?
noise.
What is Gilbert Baker?
Gilbert Baker is correct. Woo! Is someone tallying up the points right now?
Yeah, it's
All right. So who's in the lead? Because I cannot see.
All right.
Okay, Megan has 5,000.
Taking
She's
the
leading
gloves
the
off.
board, and
The
David and
invisible
Tracy are
gloves.
tied behind her. Oh, sex positive joke. Tied behind her. With, thank you.
Ba-dum-bum.
At 2,000. All right. Megan, you get to choose next.
let's do LGBTQIA plus for 1,500.
All right, LGBTQIA plus 1,500, founded by Sayer Johnson.
Woohoo!
Represent the Metro Trans Umbrella Group has helped serve the transgender community in St. Louis since this year. David.
My buzzer doesn't work, so I'm just hitting the red button.
Okay. Okay.
What is 2013?
Yes, 2013 is correct.
Thank you, Sayer.
All right, excellent. Yes, thank you, Sayer. David, it
All
is
right.
now your choice.
All right, let's do musical trios for 2000.
Musical trios for 2000. What incredible group that you crept onto the scene containing T-Vibes, Left Eye, and Chili.
This group.
Who was first, y'all? We're on the honor. Okay, Megan.
What is TLC?
Yes!
No scrubs. No
TLC.
scrubs.
Yes,
Love them.
excellent. Woo! Megan, pulled ahead even further, guys. You got to step up your game. Megan, what is your next choice?
Let's do Missouri for 500.
All right, Missouri for 500. The state of Missouri joined the union on this year. Tracy.
Well, we're getting ready to celebrate a big anniversary. So
Okay.
when is the year 1821?
Yes, that is correct. 1821.
Excellent, excellent. All right, what is your next choice?
All right. How about transgender humans for 1,500, please?
All right, transgender humans
Oh,
for
no.
1,500. Oh, ding, 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 ding. We have reached a daily double. Do you hear those mellifluous trans voices in the background? A daily double
so
means
bad at math.
that you all will write down the answer. No, you will decide how much you're willing to give up of your points or possibly make of your points.
I'm going to
with
go
this
for all of
answer.
it because I have to try to catch Megan.
That's true.
So I'm going
Okay.
for all of it, even though I
Okay.
can't see how much money I have. I'm willing
Okay.
to bet it all.
Tracy.
You have 2,500.
Okay.
2,500.
Betting it all.
Woo, okay, she's betting it all. Okay.
Oh.
Elected to the Virginia State Legislature in 2017, this human was the first openly transgender legislator in the United States.
Who is Donica? Is it Ream? Am I saying that right?
I'm going to forgive you. I think it's
Okay.
Rome,
Rome.
but that is correct.
R-O-E-M.
Yes,
Awesome. Thank you.
R-O-E-M,
All right.
Danica Rome. Excellent.
Rome. Awesome. Woo.
So that brought you up to 5,000. We are now, Megan is at 7,000, Tracy second at 5,000, and David is that 3,500? 3,500. All right.
Okay.
Tracy, you get to pick again.
All right. St. Louis for 1,500, please.
All right, Duluth for 1,500. The pride flag first flew above St. Louis City Hall in this year.
Oh.
It was David.
What is 2016?
2016 is correct.
Awesome.
Way too late.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we're gonna clap.
Yes. Better late than never.
Better late than never. David.
Let's do musical trios for 2,500.
All right, musical trios for 25. Oh, yes. This is a fantastic group with beautiful chest hair. They contain Barry Gibb, Robin Gibb, and Maurice Gibb. David, who were they?
Who were the Bee Gees?
Yes,
Staying
the
alive,
Bee
staying
Gees.
alive.
Beautiful. All right, David, next
All right.
choice.
Let's do Lost in Space for 1,000.
Okay, Lost in Space for 1,000. David is brave next to our spacey friend. David, the answer is the subtitle of the 4th Star Trek movie featuring the crew of the Enterprise traveling back in time to 1986. Megan.
What is Voyage Home?
That is correct.
Thank
Voyage
you.
Home.
My parents will not kill me.
I didn't
All
even
right.
have my hand near the buzzer on that.
All right, Megan.
Daughter of Trekkies. Daughter of Trekkies.
Megan, daughter of Trekkies. What do you choose next?
Let's do Missouri for 1,500.
All right, Missouri for 1,500. A Missouri-born humorist and novelist has an award named after his pseudonym. This author is more commonly known as Mark Twain. David.
Who is Samuel Clemens?
Samuel Clemens is correct. Beautiful. The English teacher heart in me just sang. I said they better know it. All right, David, your
Let's
next
do
answer.
LGBTQIA plus for 2,000.
LGBTQIA plus 2,000. This LGBTQIA ancestor was advisor to Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. and the main organizer of the March on Washington. Who was first? David.
You gotta give me this one, or else I'm gonna lose
Yes,
my
I
job.
know. Go ahead, take it.
And your black card. Let's just put that out there. Go ahead.
Who is Bayard Rustin?
Bayard Rustin, yes, you got it. Excellent.
I'm still employed. Rustin's Place, 1114 North Sarah.
Oh, beautiful. All right, David, what is your next choice?
Let's finish out LGBTQIA plus for 2,500.
All right, LGBTQIA+. This year marked the debut of Queer Eye for the Straight Guy and the introduction of the first Fab Five. I feel like it was Tracy.
All right.
Yes.
I think it was.
What was 2003?
2003 is correct.
Woo!
Yes, there was an original Fab Five, huh? Tracy, what is your next choice?
Oh boy. How about, oh no, not Lost in Space. How about Missouri for 2,000, please?
All right, Missouri for 2,000. This soft drink made its debut at the 1904 St. Louis World's Fair. Megan.
What is Dr. Pepper?
Correct. I don't see it on here, but
It's
yes,
correct.
that is correct.
Woo!
That's supposed to be on the
Shameless
St.
plug.
Louis page, right? Okay, Megan, what is your next choice?
Let's do St. Louis for 2000.
All right, St. Louis for 2000. St. Louis's PFLAG, Parents and Friends of Lesbians and Gays chapter was founded this year. Yes, Tracy.
Thanks, Tracy.
What is 1977?
1977 is correct.
Woo!
All right.
Thank you, P-Flag.
PFLAG founded in 77, but Pride Flag didn't fly till 2016. Interesting.
A little bit of a
All
gap.
right, all right, let's hear it from you,
All right.
Tracy.
How about closing out the Missouri category for 2,500, please?
All right, Missouri for 20. Oh, ding, 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 ding,
No.
ding. Our MTUG choir has let us know that this is a daily double question. You get to bet an amount that might be added to your point total or taken away if you don't get it right. What amount are you willing to put
I'm just going
forward?
to do, what do I have? All right, I'm just going to do 5,000.
All right,
feeling-
5,000.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what our question is. Invented in St. Joseph, Missouri in 1899, this was the first ready-mix food. Oh, God.
What,
Oh, my.
what was Aunt Jemima pancake mix?
Yes, that is correct. Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing.
It was just back
The
in there
beautiful
somewhere.
Zoftic and brown and voluptuous Aunt Jemima. All right, and also who wore beautiful head wraps.
Oh.
All right, so Tracy, you have risen to, is that 14,500?
No.
Oh, wow. So Tracy leads the board now, and coming in second is David. Are they tied together? They are, okay, coming in second is David, and Megan is at 10. All right, this
no,
game.
No commercials during this game?
I
'Cause
guess
am
not.
worn out.
You got
we need a
anything you want
commercial
to
for
say?
insulin or something like that. So.
All right, Tracy, what do you choose?
All right. How about St. Louis for 2,500, please?
All right, St. Louis for 2,500. This former U.S. president has a park, animal farm, and a historical site in the St. Louis area named for him. David.
Who is Ulysses S. Grant?
That is correct. Excellent.
Pull it into the lead
Excellent.
here.
All right, David, what is your next choice?
Let's do transgender humans for 2000.
Transgender humans. Describing a trans-misogyny-based societal obsession with male and trans expressions of femininity, Julia Serrano coined the term effeminmania in this novel. Yes,
What is Whipping Girl?
Whipping Girl is correct.
Wow.
Right.
You know, it was way back in there.
Effeminmania.
Way back in there.
Effeminmania.
You know, once you hear that word, you just
know
can't
what I'm
forget
saying?
it,
Fling
right?
that out at the next cocktail
Yes.
party.
Yes.
All right. What is your choice?
Let's
Megan?
go ahead and finish out transgender humans for
Okay.
2,500.
All right. This transgender recording artist released her debut EP, One Piece of Tape, in 2011. Megan?
What is, or who is Kim Petraeus?
Yes, that is correct. Excellent job. Excellent job. All right. We have 3 questions left. What is your choice, Megan?
Let's do Lost in Space for 1,500.
All right, Lost in Space. He played Mark Watney, who was stranded on Mars in 2015's The Martian. David.
Who is Matt Damon?
Matt Damon is correct.
Wow.
All right.
Ooh, we're coming down to the final.
All right, David has battled back. David, what is your choice?
Let's do Lost in Space for 2000.
Lost in Space. Based on a 1994 movie, this television franchise had 3 television series, including one set in the lost city of Atlantis. Megan.
What is Stargate?
Stargate is correct. Woo, that was kind of a deep cut right
I can
there.
go home for Christmas.
Okay, all right. Megan, you only have
Okay,
one
let's-
choice to make.
Let's take Lost in Space for 2,500.
Lost in Space, starring Casper Van Dien. Denise Richards, and Neil Patrick Harris. This sci-fi movie franchise began in 1997 with a satire of fascism. Would you like to know more? David.
What is Starship Troopers?
That is correct. Wow. You go. All right. It looks like we have ended with who is at the top?
No,
Okay.
no, I'm not at the top. David's at the top, I think.
David is at the top.
Yes.
Wow.
David's
Yes.
younger than me.
What a nail biter. This has been a good game. And now it's time to come to our final question.
All right.
For this question, contestants are instructed to write down their answer.
And we have to say how much we're betting.
And
too.
you have to say how much you're betting too. Thank you.
All right. Sorry, Alex. I didn't mean to.
No worries. I need all the help I can get. All right, final question. This group staged a 1966 sip-in at a New York gay bar to challenge a ban on serving alcohol to gays. Hey! Hey! Yes, come on, bass. All right. Missouri State Rep Tracy McCreary, what do you answer?
Well, I'm only betting 1,400.
Okay.
I want to save a little bit of money just in
Okay.
case. And I didn't do it in the form of a question, so I lost. But I did say heart MTUG. So but I forgot
So,
to write it in the form of a question. That's right.
The
it's-
Mattachine Society.
Yes.
All right, David, what do you say?
I bet 5,000, and I said, what is the Mandrake Society?
Ah.
I was confusing St. Louis and New York. I do it all the time.
I know. Well, the
Lots of
witchy in me loves Mandrake, so thank you for that. Go ahead.
You said
What is the Mattachine Society? All right. So we have two right answers, and what does that mean?
mine's
We
not
just-
right.
Tiebreaker because of not forming in a question.
Yeah.
All right. So that means that Megan is our winner, right?
I don't know.
Because
I have
you
no
bet 10,000, correct? And that added 10,000 with 26.
Wow.
Let's hear it. Yes. Thank you so much. You guys were fantastic competitors, and it is always an honor to support MTUG, Metro Trans Umbrella Group, in such a fun way.
It's such a fun way.
Mhm.
I'm gonna keep you all up here and put you on the spot just a little bit. First off, I want to give a shout out to our wonderful board member who's also doing a lot of tech things and help really organize that beautiful Trans Jeopardy board you saw up there. So Rissa, thank you so much for your hard work. Also, just like shouting out y'all again, like thank you for coming and doing this. Like David, Representative McCreary, Alderwoman Green, and Treasure, you are a treasure. Thank you so much. I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna hope it travels and that we don't get interference. But I think something that's really important about having all of you up here today is just basically the simple fact that you showed up to do this for an organization that has done so much for St. Louis. And let's just be realistic right now with our political climate and everything that's happening. A lot of people aren't supporting the trans expansive community. So I'm just gonna put that out there right now. So thank you for your allyship. With that being said, I wanted to take a little bit of time to talk to each one of you about allyship for the trans expansive community and what that means to you and kind of how that incorporates into the work that you're doing right now. So Treasure, would you mind speaking on that for me?
You know, it's interesting you would ask that because I've been thinking so much about this. There is a poet whose name is Tongo Ison, and he has this line in a poem that says, if there's a prison in your city, then your city is a prison. And, you know, for me, I transpose that to say, if Black trans women are not safe there, then it's not safe. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like Black women and Black trans women are the canaries in the coal mine. Until Black trans women are safe, none of us are safe.
Most marginalized.
Exactly. And as an artist, as a creative, I can't even name the number of Black queer individuals who've shaped the way that I think about poetry, the way I think about sound. So, you know, just as a human, it's my duty to stand in solidarity with my sisters. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh, I'm also going to put you on the spot and thank you and your husband for donating $500 to our cause today. So thank you.
We're glad to do it.
Thank you.
We're really glad to do it. So. Well, I am honored to support MTUG and all the work that they do. You know, as somebody who works in state government, I really see that we're in a bit of a budget crisis in that we have a revenue crisis. So I think it's really important that we support groups like MTUG because they're filling and closing an important gap that we have in this region. So. You know, we are in a situation where, you know, we see stories every day about the possibility of food stamps being cut for folks and that there's not enough affordable housing and public transportation is challenging. I think MTUG is an important partner with government at all levels, really, to help close some of those gaps so that we can take care of people in the community that really need to be taken care of. So that's why I'm here today.
Thank you. Awesome.
Same question.
Yeah.
Well, I play for the big team. I'm a Christian. And as a Christian and a follower of Christ, I feel called to work in solidarity with the most vulnerable people. And I feel like transgender individuals writ large and transgender women of color in particular are among the most vulnerable populations. So contrary as it might be to popular opinion and conventional wisdom, for me, working in solidarity with the transgender community is part of how I express my faith in Jesus Christ.
Thank you.
Thank you. It was beautiful.
It was.
I'll say, you know, as an elected representative in the city of St. Louis, you know, I think there's often this preconceived notion that we're this blue liberal bastion where everything is just okay, and it's not. We have a lot of work to do for our transgender community in the city of St. Louis. We saw that after the murder of Kiwi Herring and the response from a lot of, you know, quote unquote allies and our police department and a lot of officials in city government. And I think it demonstrated how there's so many intersections of issues, whether you know, whether it's police violence that we know disproportionately impacts transgender women of color, whether it is access to housing, which disproportionately affects transgender women of color. And our job as elected representatives has to be to use the privilege of our position to elevate the life experiences and the stories of folks who don't have that seat at the table, and to make that seat and to deconstruct that table so that different folks are at it and we can eventually get different outcomes, whether it's in the city of St. Louis or whether it's in Jefferson City or whether it's at the federal level.
Awesome. Thank you. That's really great. Okay, so y'all, you see who shows up to support you. Oh. You see who shows up to support you. So we have to show up to support them. That's all I want to emphasize right now. So I also want to take the time, if you have any special projects or events coming up that you would like us to know about where we can support you, because community supports community. This is what we do. Would you like to tell us about that right now?
Of course. I have a business where I help families find money for college. It's called Get the Acceptance Letter Academy, and it's where I help busy parents of college-bound teens secure top-tier education without massive debt. And I really want to specifically reach out to the LGBTQIA community. As someone who's taught for 20 years, I've often been a safe space for queer kids. And I know that sometimes school is so painful that it's hard for them to think of the next school and to believe me when I tell them that college is going to be different. So to queer youth in St. Louis, look me up. It's at gettheacceptanceletter.online.
Very good. Well, thanks for the opportunity to share something exciting. I am going to be filing a bill in the 2020 legislative session that would ban this fake therapy, this fake so-called conversion therapy, and it would ban it for minors in the state of Missouri. And it would, I recognize my lane. It's only going to be banned for people that have to come to the state of Missouri for a license of some sort. So I'm staying out of the lane of, keeping church and state separate. So, but I'm focusing on what I have some control over. I have heard countless stories from people that have been through these, fake therapy experiences, and it's just heartbreaking, truly heartbreaking. So I want to do everything we can to help preserve the mental health of Missouri's young people, and I think banning this fake therapy is a great first start. So I can use your help next year in 2020 by pushing the Missouri Speaker of the House to give that bill a hearing. Thank you.
Awesome. Sex Positive St. Louis is entering its 10th year. We want to make it our biggest year ever. Lady Ashley has graciously been one of our presenters in the past. We've done co-sponsored events with MTUG, and we recently passed 5,000 members on Meetup, making us one of the largest sexuality meetups in the world. So please support us. You can go to sexstl.com. Sexstl.com is our website.
Wonderful, good.
You might have seen some exciting news yesterday. The Board of Aldermen passed a conversion therapy ban under the leadership of Alderwoman Christine Ingracia, who's been fighting this issue with us for quite a while. But we know that it's not enough, and we know that we need state action on this and eventually federal action. Like I said earlier, I am running for state senate to hopefully give some backup to Representative McCreary eventually in the state senate, so that we can get a statewide ban on conversion therapy, and so that we can finally pass MONA. It has been far too long, and it's ridiculous that it has taken over 20 years.
All right, so we're all standing up here as allies and accomplices, and I'm going to speak that into an existence. Like, MTUG gave us a space to be here with them and their community, technically, when they didn't need to, when they are threatened by a lot of cis folks. Like, cis folks threaten trans people. Cis folks are dangerous to trans people, but yet they've opened their hearts, their home, their HQ to me, to us. So thinking about liberation, we talk about this word a lot. What does liberation for us as allies and accomplices mean to the trans expansive community, and what are each one of you individually willing to do to help us as a community in St. Louis get there? And that's my last question for you. I know that's a mouthful, I'm sorry.
Woo, okay. So, I come from a family of artists who use cultural responses to embolden young people so that they can move through the world in wholeness, honoring their gifts and goals. I do it every day in the classroom as a teacher at East St. Louis Senior High School, with small things like blasting out this really casual homophobia that young teens have. No, gay is not a transpose, so not cool. You can't call something gay and think it just means not cool. So speaking up and speaking out, and modeling for young people what it means to love people publicly. And that is how I'm working toward liberation.
Awesome.
Well, in the state of Missouri, we have term limits, so I have a limited amount of time to use, the gift that I got of being an elected official. So I want to use my time in office to be a public supporter of all things transgender. I think one of the things that helps me in the Missouri legislature is some of my conservative colleagues are comfortable coming to talk to me one-on-one privately and asking me some of these tough, like Trans 101 types questions, because I'm a safe space. They can talk to me, they know who I am, and so that's what I want to do to be able to help as we march towards liberation. And because of term limits, I'll have to make sure I identify other colleagues who are, coming up behind me to make sure I pass the baton to them.
And let us know.
I will.
Yeah.
I will do that.
Let us know what's showing up.
For me, I think liberation means when a Black transgender woman could walk down the street with the same safety and security that I have as a heterosexual cisgender man, or any white cisgender heterosexual man, that that inequity of privilege goes away, and we can all just be safe and free. And what I'm willing to do, I think, is just, number one, as a marginalized person and also a privileged person, be conscious of my privilege, not always walking my privilege into spaces where it need not be, and not being afraid to walk my privilege into spaces where it does need to be, where I can, advocate on behalf of, my transgender siblings and educate my cisgender siblings on how our actions affect people that don't share our privilege.
Awesome. So I grew up in a union household with two parents that were union members, and concept that they, instilled in me a lot was solidarity, and that this concept that none of us are free until all of us are free. And so that means, like, even if we get gains for some groups of folks, it's not enough until everybody sees those same gains. And how we get that is by showing up and by educating, by using our privilege when we have it at the bargaining table, and in governmental halls, and coming and sitting down with the community and being there to really listen and hear the experiences of others and use that in our public policy and decision making. And then once you use that, we create an environment where then it becomes our responsibility to come out and educate cisgender folks, and have those difficult conversations and push back on folks when we hear somebody saying something transphobic, to not let it slide. And I think that starts to change culture of institutions. And if we can change the culture of institutions within our halls of government, we'll start to see some of the gains that we need. It has to be for everyone, just can't be for some groups.
Awesome. Y'all, thank you for answering some serious questions, some hard questions, all on the spot. I really appreciate that. But I think this is really important because it shows who shows up. It shows who's willing to support the trans expansive community, and you have vocally voiced, with your presence and your vocal cords, what you're willing to do for this community. And I think it's very important for the trans expansive community to know who's here in our city to support them and who shows up, because people don't show up. So start taking just stock in that and seeing the faces who are there to support you at these events and standing up for you and making these policies and passing these policies and running for office and just speaking it into existence, because we can only get through this together. So I'm going to thank you all for being here today. Treasure, thank you for being a treasure.
Yes. Thank you.
All our representatives. David, thank you for getting those facts down, and we love you, and we look forward to working with you more. I'm going to make my way back over to this side. I wish there was music, so I'm just going to say, these boots were made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. And one of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. Thank you. This is great. This is what community looks like. I appreciate that. They help me sing songs. All right. So I'm getting back here. So we got some more donors, y'all. We have Lance Frudiger. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Thank you so much for donating. Alvin Vidal Sanchez. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you for donating. Jesse Walls. Thank you for donating. Sharon Spurlock, thank you for donating. And Jim Bruni, thank you so much for donating. I'm going to pass this back off to you just because helpers everywhere. I just got a lot of stuff in my hands right now. So you all are joining us for the 3rd annual MTUG Live Telethon. We are broadcasting live, y'all, live from Gallery 720 downtown. They have given us this beautiful space that we were able to utilize. We thank them so much. You may be watching us on Facebook. You may be watching us on YouTube. You may be watching us on Twitch. However you're watching, wherever you're watching, thank you for watching, sharing, tuning in, and tagging along with us. MTUG is a community organization that is doing so many amazing things for the trans expansive community in St. Louis. And this is just one revolutionary thing that I think that I've seen them do. I've never seen anybody try to broadcast live for 24 hours straight on Facebook ever. Was this our idea? This was our idea, right? So we have people here who are working nonstop. I have seen people stay up for 24 hours straight over this past 2 years. We have some ride or dies in here who are down for the cause and down for their trans expansive family and down for the city. So thank you so much. You can donate on Facebook. You can donate on our website, 50 cents, $5, $500 if you got it. Anything helps us reach our goal, and our goal this year is $30,000. First year, it was $10,000. I said if we made it to $10,000, I would drink Red Bull for the first time. We made it to $12,000. I had to chug it. I felt very bad the next day, but I did it because I love you. The next year, our goal was $24,000. We reached it with the help of community, and this year it is $30,000. It's going to help us implement great things with great people, continue to do great community work as a grassroots organization. And I can't stress the importance of us being a grassroots organization enough. That means everything that we do is for the community and it goes back into the community involvement, community input. We do the work for our people and for the trans expansive community. So wow, we are at 4:00, y'all. When we're still pushing, we're still chugging along. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit more about the support groups that we got going with MTUG. So we have FemSpec, we have Locker Room, we have Expression Spectrum, we have Soothe, we have QTPOC, STL. These are all emotional support groups that are available for you, that are at your fingertips, that are at your city in your city to provide community and support. You can visit us at our website or on Facebook to get more information about that. We now at our headquarters, which is located in the lovely little neighborhood of Benton Park West, have open hours on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you can come visit us and talk to us, to our community members, see the things that you need, get food from the food pantry if you need it, because we're very much hands-on with everything that you need. Wow, I'm like actually floored, like as an accomplice to the trans expansive community, to see like state representatives like show up in that capacity. Not only did they show up to like play a game where they had to know information on the trans expansive community and St. Louis, which is like really hard, but they showed up and they told us what their cause was and they told us how they're going to help the trans expansive community. So continue to watch and follow those people. So we have another interview coming up that I'm super excited about. We just saw this person, but you can't get too much of a good thing, right? So I actually just want to welcome back David Wraith, who was here with Sex Positive STL and is also doing so many other things in the community. Yeah, so we're going to talk to David in just a little bit, but I'm thinking specifically right now of things that, like, using my platform right now, talking to people who are kind of figuring out how they can help the trans expansive community as an accomplice, like what it means to like show up. And we heard like one of our representatives saying it's about using your voice. It's about speaking out. So I think what I want to acknowledge right now is for everyone who's thinking that they want to have a hand in shaping and helping this community, like what are some things you can do? First, you can donate. I mean, that's why we're here today. Let's be real. I'm just going to say give us your monies. That would be great. But also, one of the most important things we can do is start calling in people. Call out culture is big. I won't get into it. I try to use the term calling in because it means that we're finding common values and we're reaching out to people that we care about and that we're close to have crucial and critical conversations. And I think that's the first step for anybody who wants to be an ally and who wants to work their way up into being an accomplice of doing, is talking to those folks who are closest to you about the things that matter to the trans expansive community. This means becoming familiar with state laws and what are happening to people, how people, are being held back. You've heard some talk about laws to stop conversion therapy. We've had a lot of talk in the past couple of years, and it will continue to talk about bathroom bills. We live in a state right now where it's like really hard. In our next election, like LGBTQIA people, trans expansive folks in general are still endangered of losing their jobs. They are in danger of losing their housing. They're in danger of losing their health care. And these are all things that we can help by what? Letting people knowing the importance of voting. I was actually also reading an article the other day that just talked about how many LGBTQIA folks aren't registered to vote. So that's something that I want to get out there, especially in a city like St. Louis where policy change is so important. Like, our voices matter, so we need to make sure that we're out there, we're registered, and we're using that right we have to vote to get our voices heard. talking to people about things that are important to the trans expansive community, choosing to acknowledge pronouns and to ask about people's pronouns, but at the same time not to force people's pronouns because we don't want to out anybody if unnecessary, but normalizing that process, making spaces safer for trans expansive folks. If you can be an ally or a buddy and introduce someone into a space or an area where they want to be, but maybe they're not used to being, be that gateway, be that opening. We talk a lot here about donating money, and it's great to donate, and we love to acknowledge our donors. But one of the things that I see that kind of really rubs me the wrong way as someone who wants to show as much support as I can for this community is like folks who donate like very loudly. Like, it doesn't have to be loud. You can donate all you want to, but give, but not for yourself, but for the community. So those are just some ally to accomplice tips that I have for you. I'm going to go ahead and introduce the next interview. We talked to David earlier for Trans Trivia. We're bringing him back. David is awesome. I've sat on panels with him. I've had a chance to talk with him. He is a co-founder of Sex Positive STL.